Hey guys, this is Sarah Elena. Thank you for joining the channel today. I love to do these interviews because I know a lot of valuable information can always come out of them. So here I have Frank. He is one of our clients who has moved here to Costa Rica. And we want to talk today about adjusting to the country and, adjusting to your lifestyle, maybe some struggles that could come up or that, have also come up for him. For me, it's been over 8 years since I moved here. I was looking back at some old photos because I'm making a new video about all the houses I've ever lived in. So I did kind of take a little walk down memory lane of like what I did go through but it's been kind of far away from me now. So, Frank just moved here at the very end of July. So you're definitely more fresh in this process, kind of more fresh in maybe some of the things that have come up. And we had a chat last week and we thought it would be nice for Frank to share, some things that he's gone through while here so far. So thanks for being here, Frank. And I appreciate you putting yourself out there. And, I'm sure somebody's going to get some value out of this information, or it's going to be a help to someone out there who might be going through the same thing or will be moving here and might be facing some of the same emotions.
Yeah, I agree. Thanks for having me. And I think it was an important topic. And I think a lot of people are just afraid to talk about it and embarrassed and, being a little vulnerable. And I just want to help some other people that kind of have the idea or are here. But it's real. Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's not all sunshine and rainbows for sure. So I guess for you, well, what about your experience, like first getting here contrasted with what you thought it would be like? So I'm sure and you've been down here on trips, right?
Yep.
So you probably thought it was going to be a certain way. So then how did it actually turn out being for you, or what were some of the things that, or, just go ahead and discuss kind of your journey and what you went through.
Yeah, well, like you said, I moved here last weekend in July. It was a plan of mine for a while, just kind of wanted to get out of the States and move and live abroad. And Costa Rica jumped out at me for years. And I came down and kind of scoped it out for a little bit and figured out, hey, do I want to make the jump? And, I did. And it's like when you come down to visit, you think that you're in that vacation mindset. You're in that mode. You're not at home. You're away from home. You're on the beach. You're in sun. No worries. Pure vida. And for me, once I got down here, that first few weeks, 3 weeks or so, month, it feels like you're on vacation. And then it starts to set in a little bit. I'm here. I'm living here. I relocated here. I left nothing in the States. I sold absolutely everything. Came down here with 2 duffel bags. And what brought this up and what got me here in talking to Sarah was, I met Sarah months ago and been utilizing her services and got here. And then I just kind of fell off the face of the earth for a couple of weeks because, I was just kind of getting adjusted. I had no worries, no rush for anything. And I was half programmed in my mind to move down here, but I just kind of went through a phase where I was like, what did I do? Is this the right decision for me? There was a lot of frustrations. I just turned 41, so I'm programmed. You have 40 years of the United States and the way things are going. You get stuff done. You want something. You want it now. You want to get it. You want to get it. Plus, on top of that, I'm not fluent in Spanish. I could get around. And although they say a lot of people in Costa Rica know English, I want to learn Spanish and I want to be respectful and I want to use the language. I'm here. And there was a lot of frustrations. And I think it was just my mind changing because during that couple weeks, like my brain felt like it wasn't working. It was just mush and so chill because of lack of noise and stress and the stuff that's in the United States. And I just kind of felt I had a lot to think about and kept to myself. And like I said, I was just kind of figuring things out and kind of freaking out internally a little bit and kind of felt alone and a little stressed, a little quiet, thinking, man, I just made a mistake and just pushed through it,
So So now I know you're feeling a bit better. What do
Mhm.
you think was there a certain turning point when you started, like when you started feeling better? Were there certain things that you thought of, oh, hey, I can do this to kind of get over this obstacle?
Yeah, it's gonna sound funny. It's when I went for my first haircut.
Hmm.
I went, got my first haircut. And after I got, I don't know, I can't describe it. So I walked downtown, got my haircut, left the haircut place, and I had this feeling like, okay, a little bit more like home. It's like you get the haircut, you learn the grocery store, you get in your routine. I joined the gym. You start getting your bearings, learning, seeing faces, making friends, neighbors, and the weeks that I kind of like uh, took to myself. And I'm normally very outgoing, love people, like people, love being in a social setting. I think that was kind of not what I was supposed to do. I think I just needed to just get out there a little more. And everybody has a past and their personality, and I'm former military, so um, um, that downtime and alone time in the past was really good for me. But then again, you're in your normal space. You're in the United States, right? I was in a foreign country, so everything just felt foreign to me, and I just had a. And like always, I pull my mind together and I'm like, let's go. Like I'm doing this. I'm not backing out. I'm here. I do love it here, and just little things, just haircut, gym, making it feel like home, getting in your routine. Uh, More time goes by. It kind of like settled me in a little bit, and getting my vehicle and just stuff like that. And it's not so much a possession standpoint because I live pretty simple. It's just feeling at home and just having those little things to get around your environment and just be more into your environment, if that makes sense.
Totally. Do you feel like whenever you first got here, maybe in the times you felt you were struggling, did you have kind of an established daily routine, or did you kind of start to establish one and that's maybe what helped with, you said you joined the gym later. Like, do you think that played into it at all?
Um, well, I'm pretty disciplined and routine oriented, and I try to keep to that. When I was here, um, and there's a lot of things about Costa Rica that I actually like better about the routine. I love when the sun sets and rises. It's a very good circadian rhythm. I think it's way healthier for people. Um, and I love getting up early, but to be dark in the States, here it's light. There's birds chirping. There's monkeys. It's great. I mean, it's a great way to start your day. And it's just learning the environment and adjusting to your routine, and things are different. Just things are different down here. People move at a slower pace, and you learn that it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, and that actually also grounds you and chills you out. And then just you adapt.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And did you find it, you mentioned another thing is when you started to finally kind of meet some friends and develop that sense of community, did you find it easy once you started meeting people, or how did you kind of reach out? Maybe some people are kind of shy and they do want to meet friends, but they might be kind of shy or maybe more of an introvert. How did you kind of start branching out and meeting people, or did you do anything in particular?
Well, it started when I came down in May of last year, or no, this year. It was this year, yeah, May of this year. I wanted to scope Coco a little harder because it was one, it was close to the airport, which is huge, and I thought it would be a good landing spot. And the coffee place that I went to, I kind of, like I said, I'm routine oriented, so I'd be there at like 8 a.m. every morning, and some of the same people would be there, and they were from Canada, the United States, a little older than me. They've been here, retired. So, and still, like 6 months later, the same people are there at 8 o'clock in the morning every morning, and I'll be like, hey, see you guys in 2 months. We exchanged numbers. So I knew some people coming here. And, a lot of people that American Canadians, they want to communicate and have them in their circle and all that. So, you see people and most people here are friendly. So, hey, how are you? Where are you from? You get talking, and then going to the gym and just being around town, you meet people. So, I mean, now it's like I walk sometimes and people are beeping and waving. I'm like, hey, 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 it's a little community here. So, little things like that, they warm you up and they make you feel better and make you feel like you're just not in a strange country, not knowing anybody and just, figuring it out. And I'm sure you can relate a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, all the towns here are really, they're small, right? They're not big towns. So you're going to see a lot of the same people every day, especially if you do have a routine. Like, especially if you go to the same coffee shop every morning, or if you like to go to a particular spot at the beach for sunset in the afternoons, you're going to start running across a lot of the same people, and they're going to recognize you. You're going to recognize them. Even the people at the gym, there's some people I would say hi to. I don't know who their names are, but I'll say hello just from recognizing each other. So that's one nice thing about, being in this country. Well, especially if you're outside of the city, outside of San Jose, it's much easier to start seeing familiar faces. And I guess it sounds like a lot of what you're saying. It just was the time. Like you just needed time to adjust. Of course, this place isn't going to feel like home right away for you. I mean, you just got here. It does feel like a vacation, and it's not home, and it is all different. So maybe just time was also a lot of what helped, it sounds like.
Yeah. And it's funny, during the process, I remembered some stories you told me, and there was a video you did about when you first got here and you were doing everything the hard way and like walking uphill 30 minutes or something, wasn't it? Like, or your house in the town and you didn't. So you make mistakes and you learn. It's like, oh man, why did I do that? Well, you know what? Oh, I just got taken. I shouldn't have paid that. And you learn. You start learning little things pretty quickly. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. I had my moments where I was like, oh my God, what did I do? Like, and then I had the same thing of like, well, I can't go back. I told everyone that I moved and I'm here. Like, I'm just going to have to figure it out.
Yeah. And I have that in the back of my mind all the time. And I've been through way harder things and this is nothing. And you just gotta, this is what I wanted to do. And now I'm starting to love it here and, had a dentist appointment and, just, yeah, it's cool. Just a couple weeks were, whoa, big adjustment.
Yeah, absolutely. Now you're doing normal people things. And I mean, not that there's anything wrong with someone who just says, hey, this place isn't for me,
Right.
And I've worked with people that, hey, didn't work out for them, but they were always like, I'm really glad I came. I met amazing people. It was a great experience for me. But maybe in this case, it is also good if someone's feeling that way, maybe give yourself some extra time if you don't feel like, maybe people do have different lengths of time to adjust. So if you think that, oh, maybe I just need more time to adjust, maybe take that extra time rather than thinking, oh God, no, this isn't for me. I'm out of here.
Yeah. And then all I had to do is buy an organic pineapple and cut that baby up and eat it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going back to the States. No way. Pineapple here is fantastic. Yeah. That's a selling point. I'm here.
Pineapples, the mangoes, all the fruits, the sunsets.
Yeah.
Nice day-to-day things. But yeah, I mean, you live day-to-day life. It's not all vacation. So.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, let's see. What would you say? Okay. If you had 3 big key pieces of advice to give someone who may be in your position, or if they were to come and kind of find themselves with those feelings, which again, like you said, is nothing to be ashamed of. And that's why I'm glad we're chatting about it, because maybe people aren't talking about it enough. It's not all like sunshine and rainbows here. We all have our struggles. Like, I mean, I have mine still. I'm sure I get frustrated with things, mostly when I'm behind the wheel. I'm always driving. I'm like, are you trying to kill yourself? Like, what are these people doing?
I haven't even attempted to drive to San Jose yet. I've heard the nightmares, and like a 3-hour trip takes 8. And I'm like, well, what's in San Jose?
But what would you say would be your, I guess, maybe top 3 things? I know I'm putting you on the spot. It's okay if you need time to think about it.
Sure. And just what was the top 3? Ask me one more time. What was that?
I guess if you met someone tomorrow who expressed having kind of the same feelings that you went through, a few months ago, like right after you moved, or maybe to someone who's going to be coming and they could experience kind of what you experienced, just that difficulty of adjusting, maybe kind of feeling like a fish out of water. That's kind of seems like, having a hard time figuring out how things work, maybe what would you advise them during that time if they came to you?
Well, yeah, that's a great question. That's a really great question. This isn't live, right?
No, I'll edit it. I put people on the spot sometimes. I'm sorry. I forgot
Okay,
to warn
cool.
you.
Well, if I could give anybody advice, and I thought it was so important that, when you and I didn't talk for a while, and it bothered me. So I reached out to you and, I said, I wanted to set up a call because I was, oh man, I'm not doing my part here. I fell off, and, um, uh, I did. I thought it was really important because this stuff really, everybody's different, right? Everybody's mentally stronger or, adapts better. And I'm the type of guy that not a lot of things bother me. I adapt very easy. So it surprised me how I felt for a couple of weeks. And I'm like, all right, this isn't my normal way I feel. And I try to compare it to different places and other places I've been in. But again, I never moved out of the US. I just here, there, military stuff. But yeah, it was very important, and I knew other people were going to feel like this because my friends be texting me, "Hey, how you liking it?" And all this. So, oh man, if I had to give advice, it would be just definitely give it time. Don't quit. Really, really pay attention and start to learn the language. That helps a lot. You get a lot more respect. It's respectful because you're in Costa Rica. You should definitely know Spanish. I do see a lot of people down here, and I see it on a daily basis, and it really bothers me how, Canadians and Americans come here and they're very entitled and they're impatient and they're being rude to people on the counter. And I've noticed that that's not going to help you here. That's going to make your life a lot harder. Mm-hmm. And it's the same way if they were coming there. You got to be respectful to the country, where you're at, the people. Everybody is really nice. Believe it or not, they're very happy you're here. You're supporting them. You're putting money into the community. But, you still got to, treat everybody like your neighbor. So I think that's really, really, really important. And just, man.
So we have give it time. Yeah, just learn the language.
And just enjoy it. I mean, I was letting it I was kind of getting a little ungrateful. And after I started, haircut, dentist, gym, and just the beautiful sun you have and how healthy it is to live here compared to a lot of places in the world. I just started being really, really grateful and just getting grounded again and realizing that, I did have the opportunity to move here and live here, and I can live anywhere in the world I want right now. And I just got grateful, and this is home. It's going to be home.
I love that. That's awesome. And I guess one last question for you, because maybe this could help people too. You did not have a car for your first few months. I know you're getting one now. How do you feel like that has perhaps helped you? Do you feel that has helped you in a way, choosing to walk more around in terms of meeting people and feeling like getting to know your community?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'll tell you, that was actually huge. It ended up being huge. I really, really, really wanted to do the complete opposite of everything that I was doing in the U.S. I did eat very healthy. I did, work out. I did live a simple life, but I wanted to simplify it even more moving here. And in order for me, and what was in my mind, it was, I'm not going to rent a car, not going to buy a car, not going to rent a golf cart. I want to walk. That'll make me learn the town. It'll keep me grounded. I knew that I'd be walking by people, just sweaty, soaking in my environment. And I knew that would be the best way for me to know if I wanted to stay here. Because in a car, you're passing things by, right? Like it's a luxury. And I had a lot of luxuries in the U.S. and I sold all them, and it was actually very freeing before I came down here, and that helped a lot because I did think about road tripping down with my dog and my 2 bags in my truck. So being on foot and really putting in the effort and getting in a routine and walking every day was great, and it did make me feel like I was in the community. And still, after being here 2 months, there's still some of the same people every morning that I walk by. And we all like, hola, buenos dias, buen dia, and talking, and everybody smiles. And I made myself uncomfortable and wanted to get out of my comfort zone. And I did it in those couple weeks I had where I was kind of freaking out internally and figuring things out and kind of very quiet and keep it to myself was all part of it now. And it was a really, really, really good decision. So I think when getting too comfortable and having everything that you want to have from your previous space isn't going to give you a real taste of what you're doing and where you're at, and if that makes any sense.
No, it makes total sense. Or I've had multiple people who just didn't want to buy a car for whatever reason. Some of it was for that reason. They can get more integrated into the community. Sometimes they'll ride bikes. I mean, yeah, you do get more contact with people that way. And
plus it's an investment. I just bought a truck. It was a $32,000 truck, and great truck, and something that they don't offer in the United States. But I also didn't want to buy that, be stuck with it, try to sell it, lose money on it if I wasn't going to stay here. So, I bit the bullet. I put the time in for 2 months, stayed local. And it's funny because the plan I had in my head and things I manifested, literally in the last couple of weeks, everything's happening. And it makes Costa Rica feel more like home, and I love it. And I'm not going back to the U.S. And my goal is actually never to live in the U.S. again. And I'm loving Costa Rica. So as long as those pineapples keep growing, I'm good. So.
yeah. Well, awesome. Well, I do appreciate you sharing all this today and, providing that kind of firsthand, recently moved perspective of some things that I think I've just maybe forgotten, or as I said, it's been a long time ago. And I feel like that was a lifetime ago almost. And this does feel like total home to me at this point. So it's nice to chat about this and be a good reminder for people to be patient with themselves.
And then also, when we finally spoke, last week or whenever, I kind of forgot that you guys were here as an asset, friend, someone to listen to, and you threw that out there. You sent that message. I was completely honest with you and sent you a voice message saying, hey, listen, I'm sorry I haven't touched base and did my part, and I just kind of needed to be by myself and figure some stuff out. And instantly you sent the message back saying, we're here for you. You can call anytime. We'll help you. And, so you guys, it was comforting to know that and help too. And, you're like, call me anytime, vent, say whatever you want. So, that's great because I don't really know you that well. And sometimes when you call your family and your friends, they just tell you what you want to hear. Whereas, you guys just give it straight and it's more of a neutral kind of, hey, this is the way it is, so.
Yeah, well, we're always here. You know that. So, of course, anytime you need anything in the future, feel free to ask away or give a call.
Appreciate it.
All right. Well, I appreciate you being here and your time, and I hope that this is helpful for someone. If anyone's looking at moving, you guys can look in the description below. I have information for moving to Costa Rica. And, check out the rest of the channel for other things that are on here that you might also find helpful. I do have a lot of interviews with other people that it's just good to get different perspectives from other people. But of course, you're going to come here and you're going to form your own. But hopefully all that information can be helpful.
Yeah, very. Yep.